Alright, so last time I talked about my favorite superheroes and why. This time, we're reversing it. We're going to talk about my favorite supervillains and why. Okay, they say a hero is only good as their villain. That's true. Now, granted, Joker has helped Batman get to exceedingly heavy heights. So many villains have helped Spider-Man. These are some of my favorite villains. Again, I'm not the typical comic geek. I don't like what everybody else likes. It's not that I hate what everybody else likes either, don't get me wrong. I just don't hold that as high as some other people. Not holding anything against them. This is just a different take. Alright, number 10, Amanda Waller. Wait, what? Amanda Waller? Amanda Waller has Suicide Squad. Isn't she a good guy? No! She's awful. She's just terrible. And why is she one of my favorite villains? Because I just despise her. I hate her. I hate her. And that's it. They've done their job. They made me hate this woman. I totally hate her. I cannot stand Amanda Waller. I just can't. I'm waiting for her to get her comeuppance. And it took me a long time to realize she's the real bad guy in Suicide Squad. Not anything they're facing. She's the real bad guy. She's just awful. She's just out for herself. And that's it. And people are like, some people say, well, that's pragmatic. No, it's being an asshole. And you know what? It does make for a good villain. Number 9, Sinestro. Why wouldn't Sinestro be on here? I mean, he's practically Darth Vader. Okay? He was the guy at the highest peak, and then he fell. I mean, you gotta think about that. His is a little more practical than Anakin's fall. I mean, his was, he believed in ruling through order, and to do that, you had to be an oppressive fascist. And there is a valid point to that. At the same time, it's not right. It's wrong. On every freaking conceivable level. And Sinestro knows this. And he did it anyway. So, he can argue all he wants. I'm trying to keep the peace, but what you're doing is wrong. You're suppressing people. And that can't go on, and that's why he got kicked out of the Green Lanterns. And then came back with the yellow ring. And later formed the Yellow Lanterns. But, he's a bad guy. And he fell. And with a good reason. So number 8, Juggernaut. I know Juggernaut has kind of swung back and forth and become part of the X-Men and all that stuff. I'm talking old school Kane Marco, I hate my brother, Juggernaut. Nobody can stop the Juggernaut except for Xavier with his telepathy. Or Psylocke or Jean Grey. But anyway, I like old school Jughead because he's a lot of fun. He's a cool villain, and he's both the irresistible force and the immovable object at the same time. And that's what makes him cool. I remember he had a fight with Thor. I absolutely loved it. A lot of people point to the one the New Warriors were in. I'm talking about the one after that. That was even better. That was an epic fight. And, anytime Juggy has a fight with anybody, it's epic. It's just great. And it's just fun. And it's fun to watch. And fun to read. And, Juggernaut was very simple. And that's what I liked about him. It was like, charge towards, run through, charge towards again. Or charge towards something else. So, yeah, that's is it got the best motivation? I mean, he's just jealous of his brother. That's all it is. I'm jealous of my brother. Not the best motivation in the world, but at the same time, he's a very compelling villain just because of the power level he has and what he is. So, yeah, he's high on my list. Number 7, Moonstone. Now, this is a hard one because it's not as cut and dry as you may think. It's that run of Moonstone and Thunderbolts that I really like. And then and a lot of people go, well, then she was a hero then, wasn't she? I'm like, no, not really. She was being a villain, and then she kind of just went along with the hero bit. And really, she wanted to stay a villain, and it kind of things did get kind of out of hand with her. But you know that was very compelling stuff. Thunderbolts, yeah, Thunderbolts. I always said it's a more compelling series than people give it credit. The changes of some of the characters, the non-changes of some of the other characters, it's like really good complex stuff. Moonstone's at the center of it, and that's why she's kind of high up here on this list, because that stuff I just found to be really fascinating when it was out. Number 6, Reverse Flash. Because he's just the polar opposite of the Flash. I mean, it's that simple. There's nothing complicated here. He's the exact opposite of his arch enemy. That works. It works on so many levels. His colors are reversed. His whole ideology is reversed. Everything is reversed. It's perfect. It's simple and perfect. People love to overcomplicate this, and it's like, no. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can put some more story into it, yeah, but it is what it is, and you should enjoy it for what it is. So number 5 is Abomination. Same thing going on here. He's the opposite of the Hulk, and he's one of the few guys with the power level to be able to stand up to the Hulk. That's cool. I like that. That makes him worthwhile as a villain. I mean, is he the coolest villain ever? No, I understand that, but I do like someone who has that power level and then can use it. And, you know, what's everybody else going to do against the Abomination? That's what I find interesting. I like when Abomination fights people he doesn't normally face, because then they like, oh, what am I going to do against this Hulk-level villain? Ips. And then they got to think their way through it. And that gets kind of interesting. I do like that. You know, and also, you know, Abomination is not the dumbest guy in the world. He's not a dumb Hulk. And, you know, he's not the Hulk that doesn't have a whole lot of brains and all he knows how to do is smash. He actually has some brains. He's not the leader brain level, but he's not stupid either. So that's kind of compelling about him too. I mean, he's dead now, and looks like they're keeping him dead. I haven't heard anything that he's coming back at all, so that's kind of sad. But still, Abomination is a lot of fun. Number 4, Baron Zemo. Why Baron Zemo? Come on, man, it's Baron Zemo. He's cool. I mean, I think we've established that by now. He's just cool. I mean, he's a cool villain. And, you know, I mean, he's a villainous villain. He's just a villain. I mean, that's what his role is to be the villain. And there he is, being the villain. And, you know, and his schemes, you know, he's had some pretty good schemes. The Thunderbolts comes to mind. I mean, look at that. I mean, he posing as good guys, the Masters of Evil, posing as good guys, and hardly anyone even questions it. Perfect. Awesome. What more is there to say? I mean, that was one of his greatest ones. He's headed up most of the Masters of Evil, and, you know, he's done pretty well with them. I mean, he did get defeated, but, hey, he was up against Captain America. What do you expect, right? Okay, number 3, Lex Luthor. Why? Because I argue Lex Luthor is Batman without the ninja skills. In fact, I think he's smarter than Batman. I think he might just be smarter than Batman. And the only reason he gets defeated is because of his own arrogance. And still, I think without that arrogance, he could possibly take down the entire Justice League if he wanted to. It's just a question of getting over yourself. And yeah, his one weakness is his overconfidence. Pretty simple weakness. Yeah, he's not going to go into a punching match with Superman, but he'll outsmart him every time. Now, sometimes it's just that Superman is just that powerful, he's going to get past it. That simple. Sometimes it's also that, Lex is overconfident and thinks there's no way he'll get out of this. And boom, he gets out, Superman gets out of it. He thinks Superman is dumb. Well, I mean, dumb. Yeah, Superman isn't as smart as Lex Luthor, but he's not stupid either. Number 2, Omni Man. Because he's actually a villain with a conflict. He has to put his duty and his mission in conflict with his son. He wants his son to just be like, okay, yeah, Dad, come on, let's go. Son says, hell no, I ain't doing that. You're gonna beat the crap out of me. And I think it was funny because the first encounter with Omni Man, if you have not watched this, watch Invincible on Amazon. It's there too. I loved in that scene when, Omni Man is beating the crap out of Invincible. And basically, Invincible wins not by beating him up, but by being a better, you taught me to be this way. You taught me all of this. And it's like, wow, it's like he took this stuff to heart. And it's like, what is he going to, he can't, Omni-Man can't do anything. A villain with a conflict, that was cool. That was one of the coolest things about Invincible, is having a villain with conflict. That was great. Loved it. Loved that they incorporated it into the TV series. Number 1 is Doctor Doom. Why? Because he's freaking Doom. Let's face it, Doctor Doom is the coolest Marvel character there is. Bar none. I mean, nobody comes close to Doctor Doom. Marvel or DC or any other company. Nobody comes close. Now, that being said, Doctor Doom has never been treated well in other media. Let's just face facts. We've never seen a good Doctor Doom. At all. You can say actors did well with what they were handed. They were handed other crap. Because he is not Doctor Doom. I mean, they were not playing Doctor Doom. They were playing somebody who wrote lines for a guy named Doctor Doom. But, and yeah, a lot of them did the best with the crap they were handed, but they were not Doctor Doom. And I wonder what MCU is going to do here. Because Doom should be pretty compelling and pretty interesting. And I guess only time will tell. We've got a little time yet, so we'll see what happens. So that's my top 10 favorite villains and why. Now, a couple of you are probably saying, hey, there's some big names off this list, and it's, why? Because my next list are those guys that are kind of like holding, kind of in the middle there. Not anti-heroes. They're not villains. They're not, they're different. And that might be where you see a lot of people who you normally would have on these lists. So let's see, okay? And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe.